All right, I'm going to give you guys a little piece of advice that I wish somebody had told me when I started this dating journey. Do not, and I repeat, do not go on a date with somebody without seeing a picture of their teeth. Yes. I did this. I went out with somebody without seeing a picture of their teeth before we went out. And let me tell you, it was probably the worst decision I ever made. His teeth were literally rotten and black, and I just couldn't deal. And then he was trying to kiss me the whole entire date, and I had to leave. I couldn't do that. It was not good. So yeah, full disclaimer, look at the teeth, see a picture of the teeth before you...
I already told you, the girls that get it, the girls that don't.
Please send me a man, any man. I will literally take any man you send my way, because you sent him my way, God. You did that, not you, anybody but you. God, let me tell you why he wasn't the one. Let me tell you why he wasn't the one.
I think men are better than women.
She's kidding.
No, I'm not. They provide for us, and we must obey them because they are our master.
I can't think of anything more accurate than the statement, if he wanted to, he would. And if you would have told me a year ago that I would meet Prince Charming off a Bumble, I would have laughed in your face. But I met this man in a whole different state, and you know what? He drives every other weekend 2.5 hours to come see me. I don't ask him to, he just does that. Every Sunday before I leave him, he fills up my gas tank with his own money. I don't get out of the car to pump my gas. He does it for me. And every Sunday when I'm about to leave him, he tells me how much he misses me already. There's never been a weekend where I had to wonder, like, what the hell is he doing? Why isn't he calling me? Why isn't he texting me? None of that. I have been dating him since March of this year, and I have never once touched a door handle around him. He won't let me open my car door. And if I do, he gets mad at me. Every single date that we have is paid for by him, and I have to beg him to pay for the food. He hears other people in relationships calling their girlfriends like, oh, Miss Piggy or something, and he's like, that is so disrespectful. I just could never call you that. And to me, it's not that deep, but to him it is. Ladies, there are...
The bar is so low, I dated someone who broke my ankle.
The bar is so low, my ex-boyfriend had a grinder.
The bar is so low, my ex-boyfriend gave me chlamydia.
The bar is so low, almost every ex I've ever had has turned into a SoundCloud rapper.
The bar is so low, the last guy I hooked up with exposed me on Snapchat and I didn't block him.
The bar is so low, I fell in love with a ginger.
The bar is so low, one of my white exes now has dreads.
The bar is so low, my ex-boyfriend got robbed for 40 grand and caught up the next day.
The bar is so low, I used to fuck with a guy who used to steal my jewelry and wear it and never give it back.
The bar is so low, I dated his best friend for years.
And they make raps together. The bar is so low, I entertain a guy who's the same height as me. I'm 5'2".
The bar is so low, the ginger doesn't even like me.
The bar is so low, I slept in a bed with deer heads in it.
The bar is so low, the last boy I had a crush on was named Ryan.
Oh my God, corny, lame, boo, tomato, 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 I'm throwing tomatoes.
Do I like being single? Yeah. Do I want to be in a relationship? Absolutely. But here's the thing. I'll continue to be single until somebody can match my energy. Because I'd rather be single than be in a half-assed relationship.
Very funny, and I'm curious if that intimidates men when you're dating them. Do you find that some men find it a little like, oh my God, she's so funny, I'm not sure that I can partner up with this woman?
I didn't think that was the case, but I recently read an article. My friend, another female comic, sent me an article called Why Men Don't Like Funny Women. And it was more devastating than most climate change reports to me because there's science that backs it up. And it was from, I forget the public, I think it was from the Atlantic Ocean. It was a Waterlog 17 magazine that my friend, no, it was from the Atlantic. And I actually checked the research on it because I brought it into my therapist's office to cry about it, being like, do you see what I'm talking about? Like, men don't like funny women. And she was like, let me check that. And she got back to me about it. She like checked the research and she's like, yeah, this isn't looking good for you. Like, we should look into women because here's what they found, and this is true. So men and women look for the same thing in the opposite sex. They say looks first and then sense of humor second.
Right.
But the the thing is, men and women define sense of humor differently in the opposite sex. Women define sense of humor in a man as a man who makes them laugh, and men define sense of humor in a woman as a woman who laughs at their jokes. So that, yeah.
Really?
Yes. And I.
Well, are you booing that?
It's just.
Are you booing that theory?
Oh, I've known it forever. I
Yeah.
love cackling at a hot guy with a pun. Like, I just, the easiest way, you just go, and make it look like you're orgasming, kind of. Remind them.
Men are fixers, okay? Real men. Real men are fixers, right? So when you go to them, have you ever paid attention to this, ladies? I'm gonna tell you this. When you go home with work drama, right? And you try to tell him about your work drama, haven't you ever noticed that all of his responses fix your problem? You want me to go up there? You know what I'm saying? And you saying, no, I want you to go beat my boss up. I just want you to hear me out. Men just want to fix your problems, okay? If they ain't finna fix them, they don't want to hear it if they can't fix it. Because it make them feel helpless. You see what I'm saying? So when we go and we try to tell them everything that so-and-so did, if they don't feel like they can fix it, they like, because what you want me to do? You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times they not wired for all of that extra emotional stuff because they like, bruh, she keep crying.
I swear I need to start like a low value men podcast. We'll do things like invite women on and listen to them without interrupting. We'll like acknowledge when we're wrong. We'll like stop pretending that we have a lot of money and stop using having money as a reason to be an all-out terrible person. Like, we'll acknowledge the oppressive practices that men have had on women generally and not blame women for having oppressive practices that don't exist. That low-value man life.
Like pinky promise level?
Yes, pinky promise level serious.
Okay. Then I pinky promise I will break up with you if that's what happens.
So you're telling me that if I got a Supra, you'd break up with me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why?
Because you're going to be the idiot that spends all that money, and instead of using it for something good.
It is something good that makes me happy.
Spend it on a car. Another car. Especially a Toyota.
It's a Supra!
I don't give a fuck.
Well, you have your own thoughts. I have my own thoughts. I want to do
Okay, my thoughts are that I will not be with you. I will leave.
Child. Anyway, so.
Feminism has indeed made women's lives, and by extension, men's and children's lives, immeasurably worse. Academic and elite feminists who reside in our universities, in the media, in politics, and in Hollywood have told women all kinds of things that just aren't true. Things that make women, and by extension, men and children, very unhappy. Like the idea that women don't need a man, and that children don't need a father. Or that men and women must make the same life choices in order to be deemed equal. Or that staying home to raise a family is less important, valuable, or satisfying than earning a living. These are all lies. Unfortunately, women listened, and men followed, as they do. And here's what we have to show for it. Number one, the complete and utter breakdown of marriage. Over the past 40 years, America has witnessed a meteoric rise in cohabitation, creating a bona fide shack-up culture. Many women can't find economically attractive husbands with whom to settle down to start a family. And father-absent homes are rampant because of unilateral divorce initiated largely by women, around 70%, for no other reason than she's just not happy. A full half of all 18 to 34-year-olds today, half, are currently unpartnered. Not just not married, but no romantic relationship at all. Number two, a persistent and relentless gender war. With gender roles thoroughly dismantled, men and women no longer know who's supposed to do what. They have no idea how the other sex thinks and behaves or even wants, and as a result are locked in a battle about who works harder than whom. Moreover, sexual activity among married men and women has become a minefield, and that's not an exaggeration. as evidenced by the excesses of Me Too and the so-called campus rape culture. Number 3, an explosion of kids who are in full-time daycare and who are home alone after school, resulting in an epidemic of childhood obesity and of lonely, disconnected kids who have ample opportunity to get into all kinds of trouble, including devising ways to shoot up their schools. 4, a full-scale war on men. The utterly absurd and dangerous notion that male nature is toxic or even diseased. There's actually a term for that now, mascupathy. As a result, half of the US population is now disenfranchised. It's incumbent upon parents and grandparents to instill in their children and grandchildren a different set of values, ones that steer them toward happiness and away from regret, toward family and away from culture.
So at the end of the day, you gotta understand that, look, I'm not my girls, or never have ever been a friend with my woman's friends, or my male friends' wives.
Right.
My good friend of mine at the time, his wife left him. She left me too.
Yeah.
Like, if I see in the streets, I'm like, your credit card was only good because, like you said, you called the bank.
Yeah.
It was only good because
the bank was called.
Yeah.
Your credit's no good here.
Do not ever for a second think that just because you're female presenting, that men, especially cis men, cannot and will not be extremely jealous of you. This goes in two ways. This goes for men who are gay and queer, and then also straight men. I'm a businesswoman. I run a PR firm in the music industry, so I'm surrounded by talent and other business people. And what I found is that men can be jealous of you because of how successful you are, because of how skilled you are, because of how easy some things come to you. They can also be jealous of you because of the attention that you get from men, and they think that you get an automatic leg up in the world that they will never get. They can also be jealous of the admiration that you get from other men, especially if your skills are not debatable. Men also show their jealousy in the professional world through imitating and copying you. This is how you know that they've staged a secret competition with you in their mind. And to men, winning a competition is a form of validation.
The challenge with you is that you're not inclined to listen. So instead of saying, what might he be saying that's true, instead you go into defensive mode. See, that's the thing, is she talking while I'm talking, but observe when she was speaking, I didn't interrupt her one time, right? When she was speaking, I just listened because I want to hear what you got to say, because I know you have something of value to say. And I can't really respond to you unless I listen to you. But you're in combat mode right now. That's why when I started talking, you start cutting me off. And this often happens because when some truth about to get out, people want to shut it down because they're defensive, because that truth they hit deep. There she goes. Look, get to the point. I had to move my headphones off my head because she's talking so loud into the mic.
Oh, so do I need to stay back here?
My eardrums out.
So I need to stay back here?
No, we want you close because then they can see you in HD, but you just gotta calm down. You're
Don't tell me to calm down. Oh,
you
can't tell me to calm down.
Triggered. She reaching for
You know what? I'm gonna be quiet because now I feel like I'm being an angry black woman. So be quiet.
What? Well,
I'm being quiet.
I mean, you said it. I wasn't gonna throw no stereotypes out there, but
I'm be quiet. I'm be quiet like the next two.
Nah, it's
move on.
And that's why this is such a beautiful learning experience. That's why people watch this, so they can get some game and they can look and say, okay, when my shorty act up like that, I see she started raising her voice and she started cutting that man off. But that man never raised his voice back at her, never called her a name, and he never cut her off. So I didn't play her game. You hear me? That's what you're here to learn, is that demonstration right there. What I appreciate about you though is that right now you're mature enough to like say, okay, let me bring it back down, and that's a beautiful thing.